Welcome to the Empowered Catholic Podcast with Karen and Curtis Herbert, where we combine the best of theology, science, and coaching to inspire your empowerment. It's our mission to help you release the inner obstacles that are holding you back from embracing true Christian freedom, so the power of the Holy Spirit can manifest in you. So if you believe that God has more for you, if you want to believe that God has more for you, listen on, my friend. Hello, and welcome to the Empowered Catholic Podcast. This is episode 162, if you can believe it. And you are here with Karen and Curtis Herbert.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 162. And we want to welcome especially our listener who reached out to us to share that he tunes into the podcast kind of when he's ready for it. And he says he usually finds just what he needed to hear in that moment.
Lovely.
And he was listening to the episodes on the left hemisphere and said he was feeling a little captured, and it gave him insight. And I'm referring to episodes 133 and 134.
Wonderful. Well, it's interesting, Curtis. I'm the same way. I have to be in the right place, the right mood, and then I can just get going on the podcasts.
Yeah, absolutely. And Karen, I want to let you know before we get too far along that I really appreciate your hard work and your dedication. You gave a talk this weekend. It was for a retreat. You put it together, and you also have been putting together really the leadership weekends. You've been doing, I think, most of the work, and I really appreciate you for that, honey.
Thanks for noticing. I've noticed, Curtis, just how much fuller and richer it is to do this coaching practice with you. You have an amazing perspective. I always feel like you bring something richer to the table, and it wouldn't be the same without you.
Oh, gee, that's so kind. I really appreciate that.
I'm glad.
I really do. It's so fun to do this together with you. It's just been a remarkable thing. And it's been remarkable to share all this with our listeners. So one more thing, a little more domestic, Karen.
Okay.
I noticed you did a bunch of bathroom cleanup the other day. Mm-hmm. And what you do with your spare time is amazing. And so thanks for that bit of service in that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I would like to mention, Curtis, something you said the other day about being in your exercise class, and you were noticing a couple different women who had something in common, and you went out of your way to try to connect them to each other and introduce them and emphasize what they had in common. I just think it really is like you to do that, to want to connect people and make connections in communities. So I noticed that. I really do love that about you.
Wow. I'm thankful. And that's not only that, but it's creating insight in me. So I wonder if any listener is noticing a certain pattern.
I suspect they may have.
To what we are talking about. And we're talking about affirmations.
Yes, we are continuing our empowered relationship season, and today is about affirmations.
And affirmations, they are so powerful. They're quick, they're easy. Takes a little reflection sometimes, or at least some awareness.
Yes.
Yet they're so helpful. They're just this wonderful glue that can help build the bonds. They can still the troubled waters sometimes. It's just a wonderful way to relate to each other.
They're pretty foundational, Curtis. And even if, say, affirmation is not your particular love language, maybe there's another way that you experience love more powerfully, still affirming in a regular and consistent way is foundational for a number of reasons. It's not just to show appreciation. It is that. But also what you referred to, Curtis, it's to give a little reflection, to notice some of the deeper elements that are going on and appreciate how they're building up your relationship and your family and your life together.
That's one definition of love is from Joseph Pieper. He says, you gaze at the beloved and say, it is good that you are here.
Right.
It is good that you are here. And you're letting them know it is good. And affirmations, like you said, maybe it's not your love language yet. It's helping the energy. It's helping the energy in that relationship. It's bringing it up. It's making it more positive. And when we bring positive energy to the relationship, good things happen. Good things are happening. We open up. There's so much value in having that better, higher, cleaner energy that often has this element of positivity to it.
Yes, and growth, because when you notice and affirm and highlight the positive energy and the good things that are happening, I think it just makes us want to do more of that. It makes us both have a greater awareness and, yeah, I am like that. I do that. I step into that, and that is good.
Now, I don't know if everybody noticed, but the affirmations we were giving had specificity. And I'm not down on giving more general, broad compliments or simply telling somebody I love you or I'm proud of you or I appreciate you. Those things all have value. Yet, when you put specificity into your affirmation, then it can really land. The person can really hear that because usually it's something that just came up. Like, oh yeah, I folded 3 pieces of laundry and I got affirmed for that. Wow, I see, look at all that amazing effort I put into the laundry right there. And so it lands for me.
Yeah, and you didn't pass it by. You didn't diss it. You didn't say, oh, Karen will get to that eventually. So there is something there to be appreciated and to be noticed.
Yeah, and so there's this element of reinforcing behavior that you like, and that's fine. It's all good. People will know if you're being manipulative with your affirmations. Mostly we are simply having an awareness of what is good and sharing that. So specificity, telling them pretty much exactly what it is you are affirming them for is a great way to get them to hear the affirmation and recognize it. Oh yeah, it's true. And so it goes in, it kind of sinks in there.
Yeah. And people feel seen. They feel seen if you say, wow, I really noticed that you worked really hard studying for that test and you tried a lot of different options to help yourself and support yourself. And, nobody wants to go to the tutor, and you decided you were going to put in the extra hours to get the help that you needed. And that shows a lot of initiative and commitment. And wow, that was really great.
That's right, Karen. And really, that's a related tip. Is a great way to affirm somebody is to focus on their process, the process they went through, and perhaps not as much on the outcome. Because in the first place, you can see somebody doing a process and giving them an affirmation. It's just a way of kind of participating and seeing them. And also, when we focus less on the outcome, we can feel valued for our outcomes sometimes.
Yeah.
As a parent, as a provider, as a worker, as a house fixer, sometimes, I pay and I drive. It can feel like that. So focusing less on outcomes is a good tip. So here's how it might look. The kid comes in. These are easier examples to deal with. The kid comes in and says, hey, I got an A on my exam. And so you can affirm their process. Hey, wow, I saw you study. I saw you do the work.
Right.
And that was amazing. And then you can kind of help them savor their outcome. And boy, I bet it feels really good to get that A, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm not ignoring their outcome, yet what I'm affirming is more their process, and then help them enjoy the outcome. Or maybe they don't get a good outcome. Well, I got a C on the test. And if they did some work, you can say, wow, I saw you studying for that, and that was really great. That's really a bummer that you didn't get the outcome you want.
Mm-hmm. I have to say, Curtis, I feel like a lot of my outcomes are fairly mixed, that nothing ever completely turns out exactly the way I envision it. And I think that's okay. Like, just to use another kid example, actually, I'm not going to, because you do this a lot for me, Curtis, is I'm doing something and I'm like, well, it's okay, but I don't like this or that, or I want to do this differently. And you're always like, yeah, but, here's this part of it that really impresses me. Like, how did you do that? And so I'm sitting here in my living room and I'm looking at some of the paintings that my kid has done over the years. And I'm always very impressed because I'm not artistic. I don't paint like that. Or I should say I'm artistic in different ways. And I can say, I really like that painting. The kid's like, well, I'm not so happy with it. But I can point out something. Well, yeah, but this tree is really interesting. How do you even hold the brush stroke to do that? And often the kid will say, oh, well, actually, I really do like that tree. I like what I did there. And here's how I did it. And here's why it worked. And so you're helping the other person to notice the thing they really did that they liked, and that they liked that part of the outcome. And as we've said on this podcast many times, there's a lot of stuff to focus on, and our brains are going to go right to the negative. Part of the affirmation is it helps our brains expand a little bit our perspective and notice the whole, even if it's kind of a little mix, and appreciate, oh yeah, I really learned over time how to do that tree the way that I liked it.
That's a fascinating example. You touched on, you combined curiosity with some awareness and good questions around the process to really bring out something that they liked.
Right.
And that's all part of kind of this affirmation package. But you brought up something else that I think is very important. It's a little off topic.
Okay.
But I think it's critical. And let's start with the example of the artist. A professional artist told me that as an artist, you have to become comfortable or accept the gap between what you envisioned and what you achieved. He said, there's always a gap. As an artist, you never will achieve what you envisioned.
Interesting.
And that gap has driven many artists to despair and self-destruction.
Huh.
And you have to reconcile yourself with that gap. And in your example, which is a general example of you having mixed results, your project is not going to be exactly as you envisioned. Most often, it's going to fall somewhat short.
Yeah.
And you have to learn to live with that shortfall.
So there's a comfortability and acceptance that that's just the way it is.
That's right. And be affirmed for the part that went really well. And often there are other parts of it that went better than you expected.
Yes.
And have some recognition of that. And perhaps if you're really, really lucky, you'll have positive energy team around you that can help affirm you for those things that aren't charging to the front of your awareness.
Yes.
And wouldn't that be wonderful if the things we're doing well were getting affirmed in us, and it would encourage us to do more, bring more, be more, and ultimately to have more.
Yes. I love that, Curtis. Thank you.
And here's another tip about affirmations. You can't overdo it.
Right.
It's really not possible to overdo it. You can affirm people for the smallest of things. And hey, it's true. And they're going to appreciate it. And it can be really great if you're in a situation where there's somebody in the family getting a lot of negative feedback. Yet often there are other things that you can affirm and inject some positivity into the situation, inject some attention and care. It really is true that you can't overdo it. Sometimes we worry that we're going to inflate somebody's ego or what have you. But if you're being specific in your affirmations, then it's something, hey, we can all see.
Yeah.
Here's something you worked on. Here's how it went. I can affirm you in that.
It's really true, Curtis. I mean, we've all heard that for every negative interaction, you need a lot more positive interactions to balance and have a positive relationship. So if you have one negative interaction, you really do need 8 positive elements of any kind to create the balance. And so here's one very good way and a not hard way of injecting those positive interactions into your relationships.
And I want to invite everybody to simply rain affirmations down on everybody in their life for the next week. Just rain them down. Be aware, be observant, look at their process. In particular, that's a good way. Be curious and see if it's possible to overdo it or not.
Ooh,
and see
that would
what
be
happens.
A good test. I love it. And my friends, if you could use a little more positivity, if there's some negativity that you would like to release that's been hanging on for a while, we invite you to our next empowerment weekend. It's April 25 through 27 here in 2025 in St. Paul area. Please come to our website, empoweredcatholics.com. There's a link to learn more. And everybody leaves with a more empowered, more positive, more true and accurate perspective on who they are and what they're about in the kingdom.
And my friend, really, it's for any area of life. We're all leaders in our own life. And if it's career, family, marriage, relationships, health, all of these areas, they're ripe for doing more work, for getting a reset, for banishing the baggage so you can move forward and really finally make some progress in that area. And if you have any doubts about, well, here's my thing, should I bring that to the weekend? Well, just reach out. There's lots of places on the website where you can schedule a quick call for us or send us an email. So please do join us, and you can find the information at empoweredcatholics.com. Thank you for being here with us this week. Visit our website at empoweredcatholics.com to learn more about us. And remember, as Pope Francis says, God comes to break open everything that keeps you closed in.